Hey, everybody. Coming to you with our staff meeting for January. With just all the illness kind of going around the building, I want to make sure we didn't have any additional opportunity to spread any of those germs. So, a lot of what I have today is some housekeeping stuff, just some upcoming things. I thought this is more than appropriate just to have it on a flipped staff meeting here. First thing, obviously there is some building data here. I've included our information about attendance. And then with this also, we do have our attendance magnets done. Finally, those were a bit of a pain. They came to us from where they got printed, and the dry erase that we thought would erase did not erase. We had to try some other options, epoxy, resin, laminator film. Nothing worked. We ended up finally getting some contact paper that did work. So we've got those ready. They're ready to be sent home. They're going to go home with a magnet. Every student will go home with a magnet, a dry erase marker, and I will send out a Power School notification just telling them about it. It is optional, but it is a tool just for parents to hopefully keep track of where their attendance is, because it can be easy to lose track, especially over the course of an entire year. Those will be going out. We do have an English and a Spanish version of those magnets. We've got our behavior data here. I'm not going to read through all of this right now, but you can take a peek at those. And then also our academic data. Obviously, we've just about finished our screeners. I think we maybe have a handful of students who are still need to screen for the winter, but mostly we are complete with except for a handful of students. One big celebration, I want to say, we did make some growth in our reading. We went up 4%. Which was a nice thing to see, And looking here, took a peek back at some of our previous years, and that's our highest level of proficiency for any screening window since 21-22, and it's already above our spring proficiency goal, which was 55%. So that was nice to see. I kind of the breakdown here of each grade level, and what's even nice, I was able to take a peek at what kindergarten looked like without AK, knowing that they are going to be repeating next year, and those kindergarten students in those 5 classrooms are at 77% proficient. So, knowing that kindergarten is really the area we felt like we were going to, or the grade level we felt like we were going to see the most impact with our new curriculum and our interventions, because they're just getting new to learning. It's great to see that they're having that level of success, because that will only roll over into next year and the year after. And in 2 years' time, when those kindergartners have rolled up to second grade and every grade level has now been using the CKLA and have had that all the way up through their schooling, by that point, I think that's when we'll really start to see the big impact here. So that was really nice to see. I'm excited to see where that continues moving forward. But it was a nice, encouraging thing to see here in the winter. So that was a great thing to see. With reading, just an FYI, I am checking into this with Miss Bean Blossom, but the state changed some of the rules, and the fast letters that we have done in the past are a little bit different, and now that it also includes a portion on the letter that talks to parents about their right to choose a retention for their child. So if they have a score that is below benchmark, then those students will need that information, and it will also tell them about the option for retention, which they would have to turn in by the start of the summer. But this is a new letter that we'll have to send out after each screening window, I believe. I'm checking into that with Miss Bean Blossom just to make sure it's not once a year. I'm pretty sure it is 3 times a year after each screening window, but that is for all K-3 students. I saw some teams already came in and worked on the data walls. We've set up some data walls for our reading scores just to kind of keep an eye on them, and just have that nice visual chart to show where our students are performing. So if you've not had the chance, we've got cards with all the students on them, and we're just placing them based on how they scored in their winter screener. So if they were proficient, you'll put their card in the green section of your grade level. If they had a single exclamation point, they're in the yellow. If they are double exclamation, they're in the red. And just hopefully we want to see that trend toward more students being in the green, which we did see from fall to winter. And then just a reminder, we are going to start back up with our M-Class interventions on Tuesday. of next week. So just want to keep that in mind. Math, we do have a PD next Friday, and Sarah Witt will be here. And actually, I'm really looking forward to this PD because I think it's something that's needed, and I think it will address a need within our building. But really trying to take a different look at our math intervention process. And so Sarah's going to kind of walk us through that. If you don't know already, you should have been told already there are a couple of pre-unit assessments that we want everybody to bring to that PD. So if you're a kindergarten teacher, there's the Bridges Placement Questionnaire. First grade, it's the Unit 5 pre-assessment, pre-unit assessment, and then second grade, it's the Unit 7 pre-unit assessment. You do not need to score those. You don't need to sort them. We're going to talk through that process. We just want to make sure that the students have taken it, they've completed it, and then we'll look through those together. We're going to start in the gym. Lincoln will come to Stewart, and they'll join us in the gym. And then when we break off to meet with our teams, we will break off into some other rooms to have those team conversations. Also about math, so next year, IM is updating to what they're calling IM 360. So they'll have like they've added a couple lessons and a few units. There's some updated teacher materials. They'll have some updated slide decks, which they're working on updating this year. But just to kind of think ahead and not have that be fresh and trying to learn that on the fly at the start of next year, they had the materials available. So we went ahead and ordered the teacher manuals. So you at least will have those to look at. You can compare them what the manuals are this year, compare lessons to lessons, whatever you need to do with those. But just to get you familiar with those materials before the start of next year. Again, we won't be teaching from those until next year, but wanted to at least put those in front of you so you can compare what the current IM manuals look like versus the IM 360. So we'll work on distributing those here in the next week. There is plenty of other information here if you want to read through all of that. That's really what I wanted to go through today, so I wanted to zip through. I apologize for getting this out late. We had some urgent things come up today that needed my attention right away, and here we are. So just finally, we at the very end here, there's an exit ticket. This is about our professional development. Looking forward to next year. So if you remember, our AEA is under some different expectations moving forward. It's looking a little bit different now. So in having to plan for, if we need people to come provide professional development, we really have to plan that well in advance. And we're already starting those conversations now here in January for next year. But really kind of our experience from last year to this year, it was kind of dropped on us last spring, and we kind of had to make some quick decisions on what that was going to look like. And I think looking at this year, not all of that PD has been what people would feel like they need, if I'm being honest. So we want to make sure that we're getting some teacher voices on this, some para voices. This is for everybody. So if you would just respond to this, there's some sections on there to ask, if you are certified, non-certified, it'll take you to a different set of professional development options. But if you have other ideas, put those in there as well. There's a space for you to add that. And we're going to take that back and look at it and see if there's some commonalities of things that people have prioritized more than anything else, and try to base our PD next year off of that. And that may not necessarily mean that we have people coming in from AEA. That may be stuff that we want to prep as a building, but that'll kind of give us an idea of what those needs are, so we can start those conversations with the AEA to get prepared for next year. So that is on the exit slip. So if you take a moment just to go through and answer that, that would be great. But I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday. We will be at the high school for our IDEA, DA training at the high school Monday morning, and then you'll hopefully have some work time in the afternoon. So with that, have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Thank you.